What happens when royalty collides with Hollywood and the cameras aren't rolling? Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, has been quietly reshaping her media strategy, and the latest twist could be her boldest yet. Reports suggest she's leaning heavily on that glittering royal title pitching shows, like Driving with the Duchess and Dining with the Duchess, as part of a Netflix deal. But here's the catch: early whispers say the streaming giant isn't exactly convinced. In this video, we'll break down what Meghan's Netflix gamble really means, why the Duchess brand might be her only card left to play, and how rejection from one of the world's biggest platforms could send shockwaves through her entire media empire. Welcome back to the channel where we pull back the curtain on the royals, the headlines, and the hidden strategies you're not meant to see. Stay tuned because today's story isn't just about Meghan. It's about power image and what happens when the spotlight starts to dim. Here's what we'll cover: Meghan's Netflix pitch, the risks of rejection, and why the Duchess identity may be both her greatest strength and her biggest weakness. To understand why Meghan Markle is leaning so heavily on her Duchess identity, we need to look at the bigger picture. When she and Prince Harry signed their high-profile Netflix deal in 2020, it was hailed as a groundbreaking partnership, a chance to merge Hollywood storytelling with royal glamour. But reality quickly set in. Projects stalled, critical reviews of past content were lukewarm, and the couple's commercial draw began to fade. Now Meghan's strategy appears to be a rebrand, shift focus from generic Sussex productions to shows explicitly tied to her Duchess title. It's a clever move. The title carries instant recognition, marketable prestige, and built-in global curiosity. But it also comes with baggage, especially given the couple's complicated relationship with the monarchy. At the same time, Netflix isn't short on star power. With billions invested in original content, the platform can afford to be selective. Which raises the question, is Meghan's Duchess pitch compelling enough to stand out in a saturated market? What do you think? Does the Duchess brand make Meghan more marketable, or does it feel like she's running out of ideas? Let me know in the comments. Here's where the story sharpens. Meghan Markle's latest pitch to Netflix isn't just about lifestyle programming. It's about reclaiming influence through the most valuable thing she has left: her title. By branding projects as Driving with the Duchess and Dining with the Duchess, Meghan is banking on the idea that audiences will tune in, not just for the content, but because of who she is. The Duchess identity becomes the hook. But industry insiders suggest Netflix isn't fully convinced. That matters, because in Hollywood, a Netflix pass is a loud signal to the rest of the market. If the world's biggest streamer hesitates, other networks and platforms may follow. That's the risk Meghan faces when your brand hinges on exclusivity and status. Rejection doesn't just bruise the ego, it chips away at the value of the brand itself. Evidence of this concern can already be seen. Netflix has invested heavily in prestige documentaries, big-budget dramas, and celebrity-led shows. Think David Beckham's Duchess-branded, or Harry and Meghan's own earlier production. If Meghan's new slate looks less like groundbreaking TV and more like recycled daytime formats, Netflix's caution is understandable. After all, audiences today demand authenticity, innovation, and star power, not just a famous title slapped on a cooking show. Experts have pointed out that first-look deals the type Meghan and Harry reportedly signed come with no guarantees. Netflix has the option to review, but not the obligation to produce. If Netflix says no, Meghan could shop her ideas elsewhere, but with less bargaining power, especially if the rejection leaks publicly. And here's where controversy comes into play. Meghan has never shied away from using media storms as leverage. A bold Duchess concept could stir headlines, provoke debate, and even reignite old royal tensions. That kind of buzz can be enough to spark interest, even if the actual format feels thin. Imagine it: Meghan behind the wheel, chatting with celebrities, while subtly weaving in royal anecdotes. Would you watch out of genuine interest or sheer curiosity? That tension is exactly what she's counting on. Let's break down the layers of impact this Netflix hesitation could create. First, for Meghan herself, the reliance on her Duchess title underscores both opportunity and vulnerability. On one hand, the royal label still commands global attention, opening doors that would otherwise remain closed. On the other hand, it exposes her to criticism that she's trading on the very institution she and Harry distanced themselves from. This contradiction fuels public skepticism and gives critics fresh ammunition. For Netflix, the calculation is purely business. They're asking, will this show drive subscribers, retain viewers, and enhance the platform's reputation? The Duchess concept might generate headlines, but buzz doesn't always equal binge-worthy. In a market flooded with celebrity-driven lifestyle programming, Netflix has to consider whether Meghan's brand is strong enough to carry a format beyond initial curiosity. A weak performance could damage both parties' Netflix's content credibility and Meghan's negotiating power. Economically, the stakes are significant. If Meghan's Duchess projects flop, it limits her ability to secure lucrative deals elsewhere. Brands and sponsors often follow the trajectory of media success. If Netflix passes, advertisers may hesitate too. That could ripple into other ventures from podcasting to publishing, shrinking her influence in industries where relevance equals revenue. Socially, this move may further polarize audiences. Supporters will applaud Meghan for embracing her identity and pushing forward despite setbacks. Critics will see it as proof that she has little to offer beyond her title. Either way, the debate keeps her name in circulation, ensuring she remains part of the cultural conversation, which may be the ultimate goal. Politically, the decision to emphasize Duchess sharpens tensions with the royal family. While Meghan no longer represents the monarchy, using the title commercially blurs lines between personal branding and royal dignity. It risks reopening wounds with Buckingham Palace and, more strategically, with Prince William, whose own projects are framed around duty, rather than celebrity. Here's the bigger question: is Meghan reinventing herself for a second act in media, or is this her last major play before the industry moves on? We've seen this story before. When celebrities hit a career plateau, they often reinvent themselves by leaning into a defining identity, whether it's politics activism or, in Meghan's case, her royal title. Think of Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, who also turned her royal connection into book deals, talk show appearances, and endorsements. Globally, it's a familiar cycle: public figures using controversy and cultural curiosity as currency. But there's a key difference today. The media landscape is faster, harsher, and less forgiving. Audiences binge critique and move on at lightning speed. A misstep can go viral overnight, while genuine hits must work even harder to keep attention. For Meghan, this means her Duchess-driven strategy has to walk a razor's edge, bold enough to spark curiosity, but substantial enough to keep people watching. Imagine the pressure of knowing your most valuable asset isn't your talent or creativity, but a title tied to a family you've publicly left behind. That's the tightrope Meghan is walking. So where does this leave Meghan Markle? On one side, the Duchess brand still carries undeniable weight. It sparks instant recognition and guarantees media coverage. On the other, Netflix's hesitation signals that prestige alone might not be enough to secure lasting success. Without strong content to back up the title, Meghan risks being seen as a celebrity defined only by her royal past. In my view, Meghan's strategy is a double-edged sword. It's bold, yes, but it's also risky. If Netflix passes, she'll face a tougher climb convincing other platforms to invest. If they accept, the shows must prove their worth beyond the glitter of a name. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Meghan's Duchess projects could be a breakthrough hit, or are they destined to fizzle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more breakdowns of the royals' media power plays and stories the headlines don't tell you. And stay tuned, our next video explores how Prince William is quietly building a rival media empire of his own. Thousands are already following these updates. Join the conversation now.